So the first thing I notice about this Komachi here is that she seems very, very uncomfortable with hitting any kind of overhead onto Suika. And that's partially due to the fear of Suika just low profiling basically anything you can do. And that is a very real fear, of course, but it's definitely holding Komachi back, at least in the beginning. So this Komachi has actually noticeably improved over the next little bit of the set. We can see that the zoning bullets are being used very well here, like that Alt 236B is being used very well to zone out the Suika, because that bullet is going to ignore any of Suika's C bullets, any of Suika's anything. If you are within the range of that, it can hit you. Okay, it's time to play Bully the Suika. So what we see here is a setup, a pressure setup by Komachi, and you just get smacked over and over, and it just feels so bad to be on the receiving end of this. You have no idea. That's so much damage from just 2A. It's so satisfying to do to somebody else, but it's so unsatisfying to have happen to you. Okay, so what we have in this matchup is we have the Aya who doesn't know how to approach versus the Yuyuko who doesn't know how to convert. And it's so uncomfortable to watch. You can see, so look at Aya's hit points so far. This has basically been happening in maybe 800 damage intervals so far, because she keeps air teching and getting hit by stray bullets because she doesn't know how to approach. But the Yuyuko isn't making any momentum because she's just not really converting very well off of the hits that she's doing. This is why conversions are important, people. Okay, so before we get to this reversal, we need to talk about what this Aya is doing. So it's working for the most part. Basically, this is something you see with beginner Ayas. It is so tempting for you to just spam your really fast long-range bullets, but it is going to do nothing. You have to get in there. And you can see what this is going to do for this Aya to actually get in there. She's going to get hit by a reversal. Yep, pretty big one. Tasso boxes, I just need to bring a spotlight to them because that sucked. So as we see here, the I can't even get through with a straight face. So the 2B whiffs, and then immediately after that, the Yuyuko melee also whiffs. So again, this is the Aya not really knowing how to approach. So what you do in a situation like this, you do not try to go immediately headstrong into the Yuyuko. What you want to do is you want to find a way around her, because currently she has a cover of bullets that are going to prevent you from getting any sizable damage on her without taking a pretty hefty punish, as we see here. What you want to do in a situation like this is you either wait for Yuyuko to do something punishable like a J6A and you block it, or you try to high jump and fly around. If the Yuyuko predicts that you do this, then you can go underneath, but straight into the Yuyuko is probably not the best idea if she has a cover of bullets behind her. It's a little painful to watch, I can't lie to you. So we actually have, that's a pretty cool cross-up by the Aya, but now we see this conversion. It just doesn't work, and then the Yuyuko tries for one again, and then that doesn't really work either. The Yuyuko doesn't even try for a real conversion. Either of those working, by the way, would have resulted in a lot of pressure. You probably would have built like 1 or 2 cards of meter. You would have dealt a sizable amount of damage to your opponent, more so than maybe you would have dealt the entire round. You can see that both players are relatively healthy right now, based on their HP bars. And the Yuyuko has that reversal, has the Death Lance, the Aya's got the 4-card rocks. You really want to get a knockdown with those cards because they can mean crush setups, they can mean pressure, they can mean okizeme setups. It's really, really important. It's really important that you limit your combos. So that was a train wreck. So Aya, it's hard. Okay, I can admit, it is hard to deal with a Yuyuko that is bullet spamming you. But you can't just block. You can't just block and then get hit. That is like the two things that you shouldn't be doing in this situation. You need to graze You need to divert the attention of those sea bullets that are going to home slightly on you to dodge out of the way, either by a high jump or try to get in. Even if this Yuyuko is spamming charged sea bullets of all things. I don't know, maybe like use a Dom Dash or something, the default 214B. It's usually not a great idea, but if Yuyuko is doing nothing but just bullet spams and it's that egregious, you can probably get away with a graze move like that. Even though it's a little punishable, it is probably not going to be that punishable if you have good spacing with it. I feel as though I am talking to deaf ears at this point, but I know I've made my point, but I look at this. That's dial A. Use 6B. That's fine, but oh no. Okay, so right there. This is the combo that you should do. You do dial A, and then you have two options here. You either do 6A into 6C, or you do 6B into J5A, J6A, and then J236B. Those are your two options off of that setup. Those are the ones that are important. Those are the easy bread and butter combos. They're called bread and butter for a reason. You need them. You need them to have any momentum. This Aya would have won the round already if she had converted properly. She's also sitting on 5 cards of meter. I don't know how long she's been with those same 5 cards, but it is not great to be sitting on meter that much, especially when a lot of it is based on pressure and okizeme. Okay, that was actually pretty slick by Yuyuko. So I don't know if it was intentional or not, but you see we have Mountain Vapor on the clock. So what that means is if you can change the weather, if you can cycle it twice, i.e. with a knockdown and a spell card, you can force Typhoon. This is really important because if you look at the health bar, Yuyuko is about to win. In Typhoon, you cannot block. There is nothing you can do. In that spacing, you are going to die. I give it 2 seconds. Didn't even last that long. Okay. Well, that was the last set of this video. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.